The Teamfight Tactics patch notes for patch 12.12 just dropped, and we are going to go over all the changes and how they are going to affect the meta. So first things first, buffs: Cannoneer, Shimmer Scale, Legend, Binary, Reckless Spending, Ricochet, Essence Theft, Anivia, Volibear, Talon, and Corki. All really deserved. All of them are kind of behind everything else in the meta right now, so this all makes 100% sense, especially on the Legend, Shimmer Scale, and Cannoneer. We haven't seen too many of those traits coming out just yet, but hopefully this changes that. Nerfs: Assassin, Ragewing, Swift Shot, Ascension, Titanic Strength, Meditation, Scorch, Golden Egg, Second Wind, Luden's Echo, Deathblade, Ezreal, Heimerdinger, Shen, Set, Diana, Illaoi, Olaf, and Ryze. So if you guys heard me rant about this on my last meta snapshot, Heimerdinger with Meditation, completely absurd. It is probably one of the best late game one cost units ever made in the game because it just stuns the most important target every single time. Golden Egg getting nerfed is pretty interesting. I always thought that was like one of the most fun augments. Ascension makes 100% sense. Assassins makes sense. Ragewing, Swift Shot, all that good stuff. It's mainly targeting like the Xayah type of builds and some of the rerolls Ezreal and Set. Olaf, Diana, and then the Ryze nerf. I heard there's a bug fix, so we'll get into that later. Adjusted Jade Soul, Cannoneer Crown, Shapeshifter Soul, Karma, and Lee Sin, and then combat pacing adjustments. Bruiser, Dragon Guardian, Mirage, and Shapeshifter. We'll see what that means later. And then reworking build diff, True Twos, Tahm Kench, Deja, Shyvana, and Sylas. So TFT turns 3. Wow, holy cow. It is actually 3 years old. That is a long time. Leave a comment down below telling me what set you started playing TFT in. I personally was in set 1, so I am part of the 3-year gang right here. But large changes: Treasure Dragon. So start of round gold and automatic shop refresh is no longer triggered at the start of 5-1, the round after Treasure Dragon. So we will have less gold in this next patch. Remove the 3-second transition phase between 4-7 and 5-1. Treasure Dragon content is no longer automatically selected 2 seconds before 4-7's 60-second round ends. So that little extra 5 interest might affect things. Maybe it doesn't. We'll see. Pace of combat. Bruiser health is being changed from 200, 350, 500, and 800, and then it's starting to go to 200, 325, 450, and 700. So just nerf the later parts of Bruisers. Dragon health being dropped down a bit. Guardian max health shield being dropped down at the first 2 levels. And then Mirage, Dawnbringer's Determination, max health heal percentage. This was probably the best Mirage variation, by the way, is being changed from 50 to 40, 75 to 70, 75 to 70, and then 150 to 125. I still think this is probably one of the best ones, but we'll have to see how much the nerfs actually affected. Shapeshifter health percentage increase is being changed from, it looks like it's just being toggled down a little bit at all stages. So now onto the traits. Assassin bonus crit damage is being nerfed by 5%, 10%, and 10%. The most important change probably being the 4 Assassin. That was probably the most popular one whenever you're actually running an Assassin carry. Cannoneer attack damage scaling on Fish Shot is being adjusted at the later parts of Cannoneer. I kind of like that because I feel like 2 Cannoneer is pretty easy to splash, but it will reward you if you go deeper into the trait. Legend ability power steal is being changed from 40% to 50%. Is that enough to bring Volibear back into the meta? Let's see the other changes before we decide on that. Ragewing attack speed, it is being nerfed at 6 and 9 Ragewing. Omnivamp being nerfed at 9, and then Shimmer Scale exclusive items granted 1, 2, 3, 5 changed to 1, 2, 4, 5. So okay, that means I think it is 7 Shimmer Scale, which is going to give you a lot because this is a 3, 5, 7, 9 trait. And then the item Draven's Axe gold per cash out is being changed from 10 gold to 8. Gambler's Blade chance to proc on attack 5 to 6, and then Heart of Gold units per gold is being changed from 2 to 3. Wow, that's actually a pretty big one there. Swift Shot attack speed per hex is being nerfed at 2 and 4 Swift Shot by just a tiny bit. I don't think this will affect that much. Let's say you're going 4 hexes out, that's 8% attack speed. Never mind, that is actually quite a bit. So this is like a medium-sized nerf, I'd say. Alright, units tier 1s. Ezreal, Mystic Shot, this was one of the popular rerolls, being nerfed at all levels. Ooh, it's actually nerfed a lot at 3-star. Interesting. Heimerdinger mana nerf, yeah, he needed this for sure. Egg toss damage is down, and he now has his tooltip corrected to no longer imply that his bonus damage only occurs while the shield holds. The tooltip now reads: the next 3 enemy attacks he receives during the duration deal magic damage to the attacker. And then the shield is being... it was always really, really, really good because he just gives you that whole like dodge circle, and I always felt that was really strong. So the mana nerf, pretty well adjusted, especially since he was played with a lot of the meta comps such as like Olaf. Units tier 3. Alright, let's check it out. Anivia Prismatic Storm damage is being buffed across the board. That's good. Have not seen many Anivias. This means Jade comps can probably find a place right now. Like 6 or 9 Jade running Anivia carry with like Archangels or Morello would be probably pretty interesting. Diana's getting a bug fix. Diana's shield no longer stacks on itself. Once all the orbs burst, it now refreshes as intended. Her orbs now properly scale with ability power. The Cascade orb damage is also being nerfed a little bit across the board to compensate. Oh yeah. Diana's array strong, but also has bugs that are impacting her current power level, so we're shipping a preemptive nerf alongside several bug fixes. Alright, so yeah, so these are just like compensating for fixing stuff that around this. So, Alawi, Cosmic Smash, Armor, and Magic Resist Steel is being nerfed to 33%. That's a nerf to mages. And the Bruiser Varus build. Lee Sin, Dragon's Rage damage. Oh, okay. Wow. This is actually a very big Lee Sin nerf. Lee Sin was really good. It really depended on the situation. He also got a pretty big mana nerf. Wow. Okay. I don't know if Dragon Mancers are going to be that great anymore now that I look at this. Did they talk about this here? Okay, Lee Sin casts too frequently due to gaining mana from taking damage. How impactful his CC is. We had to put our foot down. Oh, I misread this completely. He buffed the damage, reduced the time he kicks. Okay, so never mind. It's still good. We're still chilling. Lee Sin's still going to be fine. I don't know why I misread this and thought this was a nerf. I actually really like that change. Okay, yeah, that makes a lot of sense. We will see Dragon Mancer still. The mana nerf is pretty big because his CC was very, very good. Especially you have like a solo tank team. He just kicks like one of your solo tanks to the back line. That was always huge impact in a lot of team fights because then your team focuses on someone else who is a little squishier than their main tank. Olaf damage, yep, makes a lot of sense. So he'll need to die 2 times in order to gain the same amount of attack damage. Silas reworked. No longer mana reaves on first spell cast nor shields when casting whatever this is on mana reave targets. Silas now shields on first spell cast. If Silas already shielded himself, the spell now hits in a larger area and mana reaves any enemy hit. Okay, and then it also now stacks. Alright, so the shield amount is being cut in half to kind of compensate for that. The burst damage is being lowered a little bit because it's AoE now, or like it looks like it's a larger area. And then mana is being changed to compensate for that too. What does that mean for mages? Expect this beefy mage to be slotted in as a better tank. I thought Iore was one of the best tanks for mages. Okay. They kind of emergency fixed Silas before, so I think this is their more long-term solution. So we'll have to see. I think it's going to be pretty good, personally. Rise health, 650 to Relentless Storm 3rd auto bonus damage is also being buffed a little bit at the first 2 levels. I want to try some Legend Volibear now. I wonder what the build would be. Probably it's going to take like 2 days to like figure something out for most people to find like the generally accepted best build. But I'm excited to try some Volibear and Nivea type of shenanigans. Alright, so now on to units tier 4. Corki Missile Barrage damage. The big one will now always explode at the target instead of flying infinitely. This was really annoying. My Corki, I swear to God, guys, he always missed on his big one because he'd kill the target beforehand and then it just slowly keeps going forward and misses. Glad that they're fixing that. Deja reworked. Triple Missile Barrage is now always on part of her passive rather than a temporary buff for 10 seconds after she casts. Max mana buff. Deja's attack speed reduced. And then Wind Blast, passive on hit magic damage is being buffed a little bit. And then Wind Blast, passive magic resist reduction on attack being buffed by 2 per attack. And then Wind Blast, wave damage being buffed by like double. Alright, so Wind Blast impact timing has also been adjusted to better match the visuals. I feel like this is my favorite change so far, even though it has the least amount of impact. I always felt that like Deja took too long to cast, especially when you had Rageblade on her. So this is actually a pretty important change. They talk about it here. There are a lot of attack speed carries in Dragonlands, so they're changing Deja into an AP carry. So what that means is you can't use Yone as an item holder for Rageblade and then sell it, swap it onto Deja, and then be like fine and chillin'. We'll actually need some new builds for Deja because it seems like it's more of a nuke mage now. Kind of like maybe an older Ahri, maybe the Ahri from like set 4 or something like that. Not quite exactly like that, but something similar to that. Maybe you do like JGIE with some sort of mana regeneration item. We'll have to see. I'll be updating the meta snapshot on Friday, which is, I guess, 2 days from now. So we'll definitely be able to see some of the comps come out there. So if you haven't subscribed yet, now would probably be a good time to get updates on all those meta snapshot updates. Talon will no longer cast a spell if no units are in range of his Blade Ring. And Bug Fix, upon recalling his Shadow Assault Blades, damage will be correctly applied to secondary targets they pass through rather than dealing no damage. This was a pretty big bug. Ironically, Talon was actually pretty decent, so I'm guessing they're gonna change his numbers a little bit. Talon, Shadow Assault Blade Ring, attack damage scaling, it's being changed to whatever this is, and then total damage with Bug Fix is gonna look like this. Yeah, Talon was kind of in a weird spot. Guild builds were really good, but Talon builds kind of a little lackluster unless you kind of high roll a little bit. Not saying that it was bad, but there are better things. Like you compare Talon to Xayah, it's not even a competition. So they fixed the bug, and then they're kind of changing him so he doesn't become out of control, because if you purely just fix the bug, he would probably be way too OP. So Shyvana reworked. She is smarter and even angrier. Dragon's Ascent damage upon crash deals a lot less damage, and then she'll immediately cast Flame Breath upon transformation. Flame Breath will follow her with her movement, and she will find a new target to burn if there are no current targets in her Flame Breath. I like this a lot. I played Shyvana today on the old patch, and she just burns in one direction, the unit dies, she keeps burning in that direction. Kinda tilted me a little bit, but Shyvana is always in rage while in Flame Breath, and then Flame Breath duration changed from 1 to 3.5, and then tick rate 0.25 to 0.5 seconds. Flame Breath damage lingers for at least 3 ticks up to the max damage amount. And then Flame Breath, percent max health damage is being buffed by, holy cow, that is a lot. And then mana being doubled to compensate for this, I'm assuming. Shyvana at 3 stars is much smarter and way more angry. So it probably hits the whole map, probably dashes around the board, and shoots down fire. Would be interesting to try to go for this. Items, okay, with combat being long, blah, blah, blah. Deathblade, nerfed, not surprised there. Deathblade turned out to be like one of the best attack damage items in the game. More so than IE, more so than like all that other stuff, which is different from previous sets, because previous sets people always build IE, so I hope they bring them hopefully more in line together. Luminous Deathblade getting the same type of treatment, and then Sunfire Cape, only the Radiant version is getting a health nerf. Now onto the augments. Ascension is being changed from silver to gold. I wonder if they need to buff this a bit now that it's gold, because even though it was very strong, I feel like in a different meta the fights might not last as long. Astral Heart is being changed from gold to silver. Yeah, Astral is ass. Like, this thing. Binary Airdrop now additionally grants a random item component. That's pretty big. Build Diff now scales with stage number from stages 2 to 5. Okay. So for Build Diff 1, instead of 300 health and 50% attack speed, it's 250 and 40. Evens out around stage 3, and then is even stronger in stages 4 and 5. So this is less of a top 4 comp now. It's now solid overall. Wow. This should be a buff to Build Diff, I'm pretty sure, because in the starting stages, the starting buff you get is already so huge that you pretty much should win streak anyways, but now you scale into the late game a little better. So I think this is actually overall a buff for Build Diff. Cannoneer Crown now grants a Runon's Hurricane instead of a Giant Slayer, good change there. Jade Soul, Titan's Resolve instead of Ionic Spark. I love this change personally. I complained about this before because Anivia already reduces magic resist, and Ionic Spark does the same thing, so why would you want this item on Jade? It didn't make sense at all because it doubles up on an effect. So Titan's Resolve, very well thought out, gonna be great on Xiaoyu. Unfortunately, I think that's like the only champion this item works on. Reckless Spending damage amplification being buffed by 10%. No one really uses this. I don't know if this is enough to justify. It seems really hard to use because you have to do a lot of different shop purchases to kind of get the bonus. Ricochet Cannoneer bounce damage reduced. Shapeshifter Soul grants a Hand of Justice, grants a Sunfire Cape instead of Hand of Justice now. Makes a lot of sense. Again, Sunfire Cape probably more thematic, and Warmog's probably too OP if you give it to them. Titanic Strength, health percentage to attack damage is being nerfed a little bit. Yeah, that makes sense. This was really broken on a lot of the Bruiser builds. Trade Sector Plus, it's a new thing. Gain a free shop refresh every net round and gain 5 gold now. Trade Sector Plus only appears on 3-2. True 2 is getting reworked. Gain 1 random 2-star 1 tier champion and 1 random 2-star tier 2 champion. Wait a minute. Whoa. That's a little... I feel like that's going to be turbo broken OP. I want this every time. Alright. Essence Theft, Evoker, Mana Steal. being changed from 4 to 5. This is going to be really good on Anivia. Meditation mana for unequipped units is being nerfed by 1 mana at 1 and 2 star and 2 at Meditation 3. Scorch 5th instance of Ragewing damage amp being nerfed a little bit. Golden Egg turns to Hatch 10 to 11. Ooh, that's actually a good change because there's a PvE round, so it kind of is actually pretty sizable. Luden's Echo, they nerfed all of these because mages, they're kind of scared of them. Silas change should be pretty big. We'll see the Rise bug fix later on. But yeah, I do expect mages to deal pretty well. So Meditation nerf and Luden's nerf pretty, like, makes sense. Small, like our LP changes. Alright. Astral ability power being buffed at 9 astral. No one cares about that, guys. Astral emblem has been re-enabled but will not appear on carousels. Jade tooltip has been updated to further clarify that the buff persists as long as units start combat adjacent to a statue. Scale Scorn bonus men played in like Scale Scorn and Assassin, so we'll have to see how that kind of shapes up. Maybe you could get a 6 warrior build with like a warrior spatula or something like that. Units tier 1, Leona 50 damage, 50 health nerf. Nidalee Primal Surge bonus attack speed. This one is being nerfed across the board. Really? They thought it was this good. Okay, Nidalee was pretty good. But, what's the best way to nerf Nidalee? I guess this is fine. I'm not sure. Thresh is now a Rodeo Star. Nami max mana nerf. She now takes longer to cast on the second and beyond casts. Jinx mana buff. This one, she now has less mana on her first ability and then less mana on every ability after that. And Thresh now always selects his hook target before the enemy movement begins. This means he can now hook Cavaliers that started combat as the furthest unit from Thresh. This is like a small nerf because you probably don't want to hook a Cavalier. Lulu and Nunu walk into a bar. They're probably asleep because they obviously look underage. Okay, whatever that's supposed to imply. Lulu mana is being nerfed a little bit, and then Nunu's consume damage. This one is being nerfed at 3-star. Dude, my Chinese Nunu tech. They're scared of it. They're scared of it. Swain Draconic Ascension damage is being buffed a little bit across the board. Okay. I've been wondering where Swain went. They nerfed him too hard after PBE, and then like no comps use Swain. But hopefully Swain is back. I feel like he's one of the cooler champions. I love those types of champions. And Swain's probably just like a cool dude in general. Units tier 4, Xayah Feathers Fly, Feathers Fired is being nerfed at 3-star, and then the damage is being also nerfed at 3-star. Oh, and a tiny bit at 2-star. Yeah, a small Xayah nerf probably good for the game. They did nerf Rage Wings in other ways, but I don't know if this is enough to really put Xayah in check. They kind of did the approach where they buff everything else and left Xayah kind of where she was before, because let's be real, this isn't like real nerfs, you know? This is like very small nerf along with the other changes, so we'll see how that affects the game. It should make fights a little faster because the tanks, like, obviously weren't as strong, but all the damage units got buffed a little bit, like the other 4 costs. Aoshin health being nerfed by 50, Asol health being nerfed by 50. Was Asol really this strong? Was Asol really this strong? I don't really think so. Yasuo 3rd cast attack damage scaling nerfed by 50%. I feel like you need to nerf Yasuo a little more. He is way too splashable and way too good. Zoe now spawns Daisy at her target's location rather than her own location. Janna Tornado Stun 1.5 to 1.25 seconds. Yeah, the AoEing CC, the whole board kind of busted if you ask me. Augment's Cruel Pack can now only appear on 2-1. Oh, I thought that's array when it appeared. Double Trouble 3 attack damage and ability power being nerfed by 5. Inspire attack speed buffed by 10%. Living Forge Orb VFX has been updated to the Ornn item orb. Party time for Revel attack speed upon scoring a takedown being buffed a tiny bit. Preparation can no longer appear on 4-2. That's a great change. I hated seeing it there. Radiant Relics armory choices being buffed? Really? From 4 to 5? I thought Radiant Relic was good. I guess this is like a small buff. It's not anything like insane, so maybe. I thought this was a perfectly fine augment though. So modes double up. A UI icon has been added to the round tracker, so you can tell when Runes of Allegiance will appear now. Hyperroll, Shimmer Scale items are being adjusted in accordance so they are balanced. And then bug fixes. This is in the important part. Wow, there are a ton of bugs. Holy cow. It's kind of like cockroaches in New York City during the summer. So Siphon has had his tooltip updated, fixing issues with phrasing around his scaling and pronouns. Brain drain damage. Aoshin's tooltip has been updated to reflect that he reduces the enemy's current mana rather than draining it. It's invisible. Aatrox's weapon no longer disappears when he casts his first spell. I did not notice that because I had never touched that unit. Eye of the Storm no longer grants post-lightning bonus AP even after Tempest is deactivated. Idis pays with golden credit. Idis now gets credit for her shields in shields and healing chart. Astral units should now continue to appear in the Astral Shop as long as you have Astral units that are not 3-star, including... Does that mean it's easier to get like a soul now? Probably. This is the best change of the set though. I didn't even know this was a bug. I thought like I just didn't have them in long enough or something like that. But now it's important to like during the neutral rounds drop in Astral and then take them out later if you're not running them, just to like get your counter up. Astral script adjustments to better handle how to determine orb values based on 3-star astrals in play. This is to prevent bugs that could occur if a player had a heart or soul astral augment. 6 and 9 astral should now use the correct color icon. And Zeke's Harmony, Radiant Zeke's Herald now has the intended 10% Omniband rather than 0.1%. Holy cow, that would be so tilting. Make up your mind, fix Neeko's tether consistency. Neeko will always transform to her tether target rather than sometimes picking another target nearby. Rephrase Mirage's Electric Overload tooltip to clarify that it deals a % of the Mirage's unit's max health, not the enemies. Oh, I did not know that. I thought it was the enemies. Major changes. Mages can no longer gain mana during their bonus cast and instead are mana locked with their standard cast time. Updated Nami and Kiana's hitboxes to be more accurate for selecting and giving items. Okay, yeah, Nami's kind of like a floater. I didn't feel it with Kiana, but I never put items on Kiana that often. I only put Frozen Heart on her, so the Nami one, definitely a good change. Nunu and Willem can no longer consume and kill units that have pending damage immunity like Zhonya's or Diamond Hands. He will still try to consume them, but they will now spit them back out because they are not dead, they are just sleeping. Fix an issue allowing Big Friend 2 from appearing more frequently on 2-1 than intended. Where you at? Ancient Archives 1 and Cursed Crown icons will now appear. Fix a bug where Kiana could sometimes cast twice, and fix a bug where Corki would sometimes still be locked out after attacking or firing the big one. We're pretty sure we fixed this one, but we'll be watching closely. Fix a bug where Neeko would add her copied allies' ability power to her own rather than just copying their ability power. Fix an issue preventing Sylas and Sejuani from casting when equipped with the rapid fire cannon. Oh, that'd be weird. I never put that on them, but I guess, yeah. Lose yourself and rise. Will now reliably change targets when his primary target dies or goes untargetable through effects like Edge of Night, Stealth, or Zhonya's Paradox Stasis. This is apparently a big change because how many times have you been playing Rise and it kind of just freezes up for no reason? No longer. This is why Rise might be one of the better carries of this patch, especially with a bunch of the mage buffs, but they also did nerf mages to keep them in control. But I feel like Rise carry is gonna be a thing in this next set, or this next patch. Healing with Feeling. Nami now correctly targets the lowest % health ally and her heal rather than the absolute lowest health ally. Hecarim now turns to face his combat target before casting. This prevents situations where Hecarim starts the fight with full rage and casts in an odd direction. Brahm's Ripped. Brahm's base critical strike damage is now 130% instead of 150. Fix an issue allowing Neeko to double benefit from an Infinity Edge in certain situations. Ancient Archives Loot Orb is now the color gold instead of blue. Bandit Thieves Loot Orb is now blue instead of gold. Salvage Bin Loot Orb, now blue. Okay, who cares about that? Banshee's Claw Bugs. They did not talk about this. Volibear attack damage now is correctly blocked by Banshee's Claw. Oh, this is where it is. Siphon, same thing. Gnar, same thing. Wow, I did not know it didn't block this many, but Swain, Alawi, Bard, Namzi, Lulu, Senna, Lilia all had that thing with Banshee's Claw. And then there's some double up and hyper roll changes. Don't really care too much about those, but wow, this is pretty big patch. I don't know if the Cannoneer buffs are big enough to put them in play. Maybe with the Tahm Kench rework, maybe he is better, maybe he's worse. I'm not really too sure. Legend, I'm excited about. I feel like Volibear actually could be in. Talon's probably my favorite unit of the set. I'm going to be probably spamming him a bit. I'm glad Ezreal reroll got nerfed. I'm glad Heimer got nerfed. And then we'll see about Rise. He did get a slight nerf, but he got a bug fix. So overall, I feel like that is a net positive. But again, Luden's Meditation nerfed, so those were great on mages. Heimerdinger nerfed. True 2s, okay, this one's probably like turbo broken, right? Unless I misread what it does. Built diff slightly better. And yeah, Shyvana again be different as well. I want to try the new Shyvana for sure. But I'm looking most forward to like Legends builds, Anivia build. I want to do like Jade Anivia with like a flex carry. I feel like that's going to be my favorite comp of the next patch maybe, because I love Anivia, I love Jade, I love the little bonuses they give, and I love doing like the Morello type of comps, which don't really exist this set because they changed the way Morello works. We'll see how that happens in the near future. But thanks so much for watching, guys. I'll be coming out with a meta snapshot on Friday, along with like hopefully daily videos throughout the week, just on like gameplay, tips, and tricks, and those types of things. So do follow me on all my platforms on YouTube, Twitter, Twitch, Discord, Instagram, all that good stuff. That could all be found in the description below. And let me know what your favorite comp is going to be in the next patch. And I will see you all later.